the green and red of Mayo, I can see it still. It's soft and craggy boglands, it's tall majestic hills, where the ocean kisses Ireland, the waves caress its shore. Oh, the feeling it came over me, to stay forevermore, forevermore.
As the Soul Doctors and the Green and Red of Mayo, a nice introduction to our next hour here on the programme, because scattered far and wide across the country and indeed around the world, there are as many as 3.5 million people with the Green and Red of Mayo running through their veins. And on Saturday week, which is tomorrow week, May 2nd, it's Mayo Day, when people from all over the world will be celebrating all things positive and good about County Mayo. I'm joined in studio this morning by Martina Hughes, who's the Communications and Diaspora Executive at the Enterprise and Investment Unit of Mayo County Council, the lady responsible for coordinating all of the event. And I have to say, looking extremely composed, if you don't mind me saying so. Is this just on the outside, Martina?
Very much so, Tommy, and thank you very much for that nice introduction.
Now, first of all, let's talk about how Mayo Day came about. Where did the idea originate from?
Okay, so I suppose to be relatively brief about it, Tommy, you'll be aware of the work that's, I suppose, takes place at the Enterprise and Investment Unit. We're a department that's been set up to position our county as a great place to visit, connect and invest. And one part of my role is very much dealing with that connect element and dealing with our diaspora. And the evidence over the years in the initiatives and the projects we've been involved in shows us very, very clearly of the great loyalty and passion of origin of the Mayo people around the world. So whether you're in London or New York or Cleveland or Philadelphia, there is this great sense of passion of origin for our Mayo people. And I guess it was mooted probably maybe 18 months ago, 2 years ago. Wouldn't it be great for us Mayo people to celebrate who we are and where we come from on one day in the year? And so from there, the idea, I suppose, kind of grew. And in 2014, at the Mayo World Convention in Cleveland, you'll recall that we did some promotion around it and we launched the Mayo Day initiative. And here we are a week out, and Mayo Day certainly has, been
mushroomed completely,
and it's been embraced all around the county, the country and internationally as well.
Coordinating an event like this is a huge task.
Yeah, and I suppose when we say coordinating the event, what I would say is that Mayo County Council has been proactive in driving this initiative. They have been I suppose, to the forefront of pushing out the Mayo Day initiative. But 100% credit has to be given to communities in terms of embracing the initiative. And so local villages and towns and communities all around the county have plans in place for Mayo Day. That's not Mayo County Council organising it, but we certainly have pushed out the initiative, and certainly, as I said, communities, schools, businesses, people have embraced this idea, and that's just locally. There's a whole other story to tell for internationally.
OK, and we're going to tell a sample of that story between now and 3 minutes to 11. We're going to go into all corners of the world, to be quite honest with you, to catch up with Mayo people who are doing their bit for Mayo Day. Let's begin in Galway. Seamus Murray is from the Mayo Association in Galway. Seamus, how are you today?
I'm very good, Tommy. Good morning to you and Martina.
Good morning. Tell me what the Mayo Association in Galway have organised for Saturday week.
Okay, well, we've embraced the Mayo Day and we've got it done as a family fun day team, right? What we're doing is we have bouncing castles, we have the world champion dancers. They're Gardner brothers from Carnbridge in Galway. They're just after winning the World Championships in Montreal there in Canada. So they're actually doing a performance for us as well. And we have music by the Kane brothers. And we have Mayo Food, sponsored by Kelly's of Newport, Sean Kelly down there in Newport. And that's going to be done in a barbecue format. And we have bouncing castles and we have face painting on the day, and we have refreshments.
In terms of the day itself and the concept, Seamus, do you believe that this is something that's going to actually grow in the years ahead?
I absolutely think so. It's been a fantastic idea, and it's been well coordinated by Martina, I must say there. She's been very, very active on email and phone coordinating these all events that are outside of County Mayo, and I must give her 110% praise and great coordination altogether. So I do see it as been a huge event. It's something that we have been probably looking for to organise in Galway in particular something outside the normal functions we run, something kind that would give back to the communities that we live and work in Galway.
Yeah, and I know that the association, the Mayo Association in Galway, is one of the more active associations in not just Ireland but the world.
It is, yeah. We've had huge success recently in taking on some new people on board who are very good on the social media, on Twitter and Facebook, and we have a website now up and running as well, which has added a huge dimension to our association. It's getting out, reaching out far more to people. In the association, Mayo in Galway, for a long time, people, when they think about getting onto a committee, it's work, but it's not really. So we're trying to get that image out of the association and have people come in to join in the fun in the community and our fun day outings as well,
OK, well, look, thanks for touching base with us today, Seamus, and well done on organising that big event in Galway for Mayo Day on Saturday week. So keep up the good work, and who knows, maybe this is the year that Sam Maguire will come back to Mayo. Who knows?
Well, hopefully. We always live in hope, Tommy.
That is for sure. Thanks for joining us. All the best to you. Seamus Murray there from the Mayo Association in Galway. So many people, Martina, doing so many different things. For example, I got an email this morning from Derval Dunford, and she says, Tommy, you might be interested in the world's first bilingual YouTube clip from Mayo, as you're speaking about Mayo Day today. It has had over 2,000 views in only a couple of months. Feedback from all over the world continues to pour in. It is basically the essence of mindful living through the eyes of children in Mayo. It's very cute, and their wisdom is inspiring. I don't know if you've seen that particular clip, have you?
I haven't seen the clip, but now that you mention it, I actually literally got that email from Derval also. I'm looking forward to getting that clip and hopefully getting up on mayo.ie later today.
Yeah, and if listeners want to see it, if you go onto YouTube and you do a search for Mindfulness for Children Oscailga, you'll get more details of that lovely clip. I had a look at it this morning and it really is very spectacular indeed. People are doing all kinds of things for Mayo Day. I got an email in from Seamus Rutledge, singer-songwriter. He has just penned a new recording. It's called Take Me Home to North Mayo. It's the first song from an album he's recorded in Sun Street Studios in Tuam. So thank you, Seamus. And also Peter Costello, the poet, who actually has just published a new book of poems and poetry, which actually I'm delighted to say I'll be launching, I think, in Ireland West Airport Knock at the end of May. He has written a beautiful song which has been recorded by Michael S. Toher called Mayo Day. I don't have time to play the song because we have so many people to talk to, but just giving you the chorus. It says, there are Mayo folk all over, right across the earth. They will celebrate in New York, in Adelaide and Perth, in Boston and Toronto, in Darwin and Dubai, in Dublin and in London. The green and red will fly. When Mayo people gather anywhere around the globe, they will speak of Cong and Westport, Castlebar and Ballinrobe. Crowpatrick will be talked about and its lovely ocean view, and Connacht Final Sunday will get a mention too. And it goes on and on. Beautiful piece by Peter Costello. Reasonsforrhymes.com is his website. OK, from Galway we move now to Mick Baines, the king of... Well, are you the king of Castlebar, Mick?
Not yet, Tommy, but I'm working on it.
You're working on it, OK. Well,
Martina might put in a word there for me.
Martina, are you happy to say he's one of the kings of Castlebar?
Mick is doing a super job for Mayo Day.
He sure is. So obviously Castlebar, as the county town, will obviously play a focal part in Mayo Day. Mick, and you're kind of coordinating the general event in Castlebar. What is it?
Well, in coordination with Martina there's two big events happening in Castlebar. In the afternoon and in the night time, we have a dance show and music show and singing show on Market Square. We call it the General, so it's basically based loosely around General Humbert's landing in Mayo in 1798. We have 6 drummers from the River Dance, we have 6 dancers from the Lord of the Dance, and the lead vocalist from the Lord of the Dance as well as the Mayo Male Boys Choir. And we're going to do this show showing off our heritage of Mayo, not just the things like Humbert and that, but the fact that we have the Male Boys Choir there, and we're bringing in songs that are relevant to Mayo, but not directly to do with 1798. We'd say there's a song of immigration in there, and the West Awake is in there. So it's a celebration of Mayo, of all things Mayo, but loosely based around General Humbert. And we'll coordinate that to fit around the Mayo TV or the Irish TV live broadcast in the Traveller's Friend from 8 to 10 that night. After they're finished, we'll kick off again on Market Square at 10:30, and then we'll march our victors from Market Square to Loughlana for a green and red firework display to finish off the celebrations that day.
Brilliant. Sounds like it's going to be good fun. You're coordinating that more or less, are you?
Yes, along with Martina there, we're just making sure that everything, that there's no crossover,
Yeah.
and there's a conflict of events, so that everybody will get to see everything if they want to go to all those things. So we have a good team working with us here.
Okay, so you say there's going to be an afternoon and an evening. What time in the afternoon?
At 3:30 in the afternoon, at about 3:15, the Riverdance drummers are going to march up Main Street with some of the cast from the show to perform on Market Square at 3:30. The performance is about an hour long. We'll have our bouncy castles, we'll have the flags and the buntings and everything done up on Market Square. That'll go on for about an hour, and then again, the show in the TF is at 8 o'clock that evening, finishes at 10, and our show takes off again at 10:30 till 11:30, where we fire the fireworks off the bridge in Loughlana then.
Great, and you might even do a little dance yourself, who knows?
I wouldn't be the first time I danced in Market Square.
That is for sure. Little do people realise that is quite true. Mick Baines, thank you very much for joining us.
Tommy.
All the best
Thank
to you. Great to see, Martina, that kind of stuff. Seamus in Galway, Mick in Castlebar, and they're only a small sample of what people are doing.
Well, absolutely, Tommy, and both those contributors that you just on there really gave a flavour of what's going on. But if you just even look a little further internationally, I mean, I know we might be tuning in with Manchester and upstate New York a little bit later, but in places like Cleveland and Chicago and Yorkshire, there's events planned. I got news in this morning that the Mayo flag will fly at the state buildings in Rhode Island on Mayo Day. In addition to events and activities that's been planned around the county, the country and the world, there's also very significant gestures that are taking place. The National Museum just informed us last week they will fly the Mayo flags at the Collins Barracks in Dublin and at the National Museum locations around the country. So there's lots of little gestures that really is just highlighting again the Mayo people and the impact that Mayo people have had in the county, in the country and all around the world, to be honest.
Great, and we'll be catching up with more of those people very shortly.
No matter wherever I roam, although we're divided by land and by sea, Mayo will always be home to me. Memories of Mayo that I left behind. Memories of Mayo are always on my mind.
That is Frank McCaffrey there, of course, Memories of Mayo. Today we're whetting the appetite for Saturday week. It's Mayo Day across the entire world, where Mayo people will be celebrating their heritage, their culture and their origins. And as I say, it's not just in Mayo or in the west of Ireland alone that these celebrations will be happening. They'll be happening all over the country and indeed all over Europe, America, Canada, New Zealand, Australia, all over the world. And we're going to go live now to Manchester to see what's going on in Manchester for Mayo Day. And joining me on the line live now is Tony Hennigan. Tony, good morning, and thank you very much indeed for talking to us this morning.
Good morning, Tommy.
By heavens, you sound in good form this morning.
Well, we're just a week to go to Mayo Day. Why wouldn't it be sounding great?
That's true. What's going to happen in Manchester for Mayo Day?
We've got a fantastic weekend of events for Mayo Day. We've been planning it for just over a year when it was first announced that we're going to have an inaugural Mayo Day. So we've been planning it all year round, and we've got Flat Out flying over from Ballina, and the King of Mayo himself, Mr. Kevin Prendergast, will be flying over with them to perform at our gala concert at St Mary's Parish Hall, right in the middle of Mayo's diaspora community in Manchester. So it's going to be a fantastic evening on Saturday the 2nd of May. And as well as the acts from Mayo, we've got the Keegan Academy School of Irish Dancing, who are trained by the Lord of the Dance himself, Mr. James Keegan. They're performing on the night. And if that wasn't enough, we've got the Fianna Pádraig Pipe Band, who are going to be performing. And the Mayo Rose from Manchester, Mairead Hussey, is going to be performing with Fidelma O'Brien. It's going to be a fantastic night, and we're launching the world's first Mayo Day pie on the evening.
Wow.
What do you think about that, Tommy?
And can you tell me what's in it?
Well, inside the Mayo Day pie, we've got bacon and cabbage from the king of cabbages, Mr. Paul Corley. I don't know whether you've heard of Paul Corley over there in Mayo, but he's the king of cabbages over in the UK. He's donated his prize-winning cabbages to fill the Mayo Day pie, and we've killed a few pigs to fill them up with.
Brilliant. Sounds like it's going to be very tasty. Just generally, the whole idea of Mayo Day, how has it captured the hearts of Mayo people living in Manchester?
It's captured them not just in Manchester, Tommy, but all over the world. I've been talking to people in New York, Hong Kong, Indonesia, Australia, all over the world. Twitter's been mad with it. It's been fantastic. Everyone wanted to get involved. I mean, turning Niagara Falls green and red. Who'd have thought we'd be able to do that for Mayo Day? Everyone's dead jealous of the counties all around Manchester, saying, why can't we have our own county day? But Mayo did it first, Tommy, and we were there all along. I mean, Cillian O'Connor launching it in front of Old Trafford, 75,000 fans for the derby between Manchester United and Liverpool. And didn't United win on the day? It must have been Cillian.
It must have been. So it's all systems go for this big gala concert, as you say. It's on in the heart of Manchester on Mayo Day. Give us the venue again.
It's St Mary's Parish Hall in Levenshulme, which is in South Manchester. It's the heart of the Mayo community. That's why we're holding it in that particular parish hall, because it's very special to us.
Okay, and you're expecting a big crowd?
A sellout crowd, it looks like, Tommy. And the next day we're having a family fun day in the Chorlton Irish Club, which is again in South Manchester. That's being organised by the Keegan Academy, just to make sure that the youngsters are involved in it the whole weekend.
Well, listen, Tony, Attimass are proud of you, and why wouldn't they be?
Can we just wish all my friends and relatives over in Mayo and around the world a very happy Mayo Day from us all here in Manchester.
Of course you can, Tony. Thank you very much indeed for joining us, and good luck to you in Manchester for Mayo Day on Saturday week. By the way, I should have mentioned, if you are organising an event for Mayo Day, give us a quick text 087 900 4141 or call us 1850 50 6000 and we'll try and get it in before the end of the programme. I did mention, Martina, in all corners of the world. I mean, people are calling in, are there events going to take place in places like Australia and Auckland, New Zealand, those sort of places, or is that kind of up to the Mayo people themselves? It's impossible to get all over the world.
A little bit of both, Tommy. I mean, obviously the work we do with the diaspora overseas, we would have a lot of links with networks and associations like the Mayo Associations, the Irish Business Networks. So to that end, there's quite a number of organised events. But I suppose what we've learned certainly over the last number of weeks is through social media, for the most part, the amount of, I suppose, unplanned or unorganised events through associations that's going on. So absolutely, Mayo people are getting together in Sydney. I've had numerous emails in about barbecues, garden parties, different things that are taking place, but not necessarily under the umbrella of an association. And that's absolutely great. This is about celebrating your Mayo-ness wherever you are in the world.
And if people do want to get the word out through a website, I mean, are you updating a website for all of this? Yeah,
mayo.ie, I suppose, is the point of connection for all things Mayo. It has been out there for a number of years, and in very recent weeks we have redeveloped that site, and that new site is live now. So I would encourage everyone to check out mayo.ie, and also all of the Mayo Day plans and events and information is there. And I suppose the other ask is that there's so much going on for Mayo Day that we aren't aware of, but we would love people to let us know. So pictures, information, everything to be sent to info@mayo.ie.
Okay, that's info@mayo.ie. Just quickly, Croagh Patrick hasn't been left out. The Mayo Day climb is on.
Absolutely, yeah, and that's a very novel initiative as well. So it's the Mayo Day climb Croagh Patrick in your red and green, and an organisation called Trek West are organising that. There's a lot of publicity out there on it already. There'll be guided walkers with the group, so it's not necessarily for the expert climbers, anyone who wants to do it, but again, it's about wearing your red and green on the day.
By the way, is it green and red or red and green?
You'll probably correct me. I always say red and green.
Yeah, but I think most people think it's green and red because apparently they say the green is on top of the red. But anyway, either way, it's the same two colours. Okay, as you know, we live in County Mayo, where there are 3 Gaeltacht areas, and there is a big celebration on Mayo Day for all things Osgailge. And joining me on the programme this morning from Ifig na Gaeilge is Marion O'Malley to tell us about Law Mayo. Can us thought to our margin, Marion?
Good, Tommy. Can you go to head?
Race something, ma. An will tú réite?
Tá mé réite.
Okay, so what's happening for Law Weo?
Well, we here in the Epic na Gaeilge Comhairle Chunda Mayo, we work to promote the use of Irish language and sustain the use of Irish language in County Mayo. So we are celebrating Law Weo on the 2nd of May in the Gaeltacht of Turmacady, where we have invited representatives from the other Gaeltachts. As you know, we have 3, Turvicade, Iris and Achill, and there with many other groups and individuals from around Mayo, like Muncher Bailanaw, Bahola, Culchimach, Cahernamart, Ballinroba, Cushlanawari, to name a few. So Law Weo has given us an opportunity for all these groups to get together in an informal setting and celebrate our language and our culture. This great event will be taking place in Luke's Bar and Restaurant at 5 o'clock on Law Weo in Turmacady, agus Beneart, Cora, Ceol, agus Auronic Vershul. Now, also on the day, Turmacady, the Coiste Culture, Changa and Forbaha have organised the following. There will be a walk in the Turmacady Woods. I'm sure you probably know the waterfall there. It's very pretty.
Beautiful.
Yeah, there's going to be an art and craft display in Luke's Bar and Restaurant as well at 5 o'clock. And to finish the night, they've organised a Cayley in the Hall in Turvicady. I'd say you know that as well.
Yes, very well.
So, there's some of the events. Now, as well as that, the North American Gaeltacht in Canada, which Mayo County Council has created strong links with over the past few years. Like last year, Mayo County Council, in conjunction with the North American Gaeltacht, sent 2 Gaelgery from Mayo to teach Irish for a week as part of their summer course. And we'll probably be doing the same again this year. So, they are actually organising some events as well, and details of this will be available on the mayo.ie website.
Brilliant. So the Irish language not been forgotten on the 2nd of May?
Not at all. Not at all.
Law specialty.
Law specialty, Turvicady.
Gormila Margaret, thank you for joining us, Marion, this morning and telling us about Law Weo, which is happening as part of Mayo Day. Slán Margaret. That's Marion O'Malley there, Epic na Gaeilge, giving us a nice flavour of the Irish language, which I suppose Marion, should I say Martina, is very much part and parcel of Mayo.
Absolutely. Mayo Day is obviously a significant day in the calendar, but if we didn't remember the Gaeilge being a Gaeltacht county, so straight away Offagan na Gaeilge was behind Mayo Day in creating Law Weo, so it'll be a fantastic event.
It will certainly be. So it's all part of what's going to be a very spectacular day. London, people are wondering if there are things happening in London on Mayo Day. Anything on that?
A number of emails in from various people in London through the Mayo Association. As such yet, there's no event confirmed. That's not to say that that's not happening, but really in the last number of weeks a lot of events have been finalised, so it's a case of watch this space, and certainly people involved in the Mayo Association in London, there's still an opportunity. I suppose one of the key messages for us to send out today is that, we're still a week out from Mayo Day. It's about celebrating your Mayo-ness. It doesn't have to be 5,000 people coming together. It's just marking some way, lighting of an iconic building, a get-together, a poetry reading, something small that marks our Mayo-ness. So no specific event that I can highlight, but I'm sure a lot of Mayo people getting together in London.
And even putting out the flags and the balloons, red and green balloons, will all help.
Absolutely, absolutely. It's really, highlighting our colours and our Mayo-ness.
OK, it is Mayo Day, May 2nd.
There's one county back in Ireland I left so long ago, in the province of Brave Connaught. It's the county of Mayo.
And that, of course, is Kevin Prendergast singing the County of Mayo. Now we're going to cross the Atlantic Ocean because, would you believe that on Saturday week, Mayo Day, Niagara Falls is going to be turned green and red. And one of the men responsible for doing that joins me on the line now. He's originally from Kilchimagh, but now living in Buffalo, just of course, which is actually about, there's quite a considerable space of distance outside New York City. But they are doing something very special in Buffalo to celebrate Mayo Day. And to tell me about it, I'm joined on the line now by Pádraig Walsh. Pádraig, good morning to you.
Good morning, Tommy. How are you?
We're all very well over here this side of the Atlantic, and thanks for joining us all the way from Buffalo in New York. You're from Kilchimagh, and I know you're very actively involved in the Irish Network Buffalo organisation, the local chapter there. You're secretary of the local GAA Fenian Club, the Buffalo Fenians. So you're keeping the Irish flag flying very much in Buffalo.
Well, Tommy, we're doing our best here in Buffalo to keep the Irishness alive basically Buffalo has a fantastic history of Irish people settling here in Buffalo, but right now we're kind of dealing with a generational gap between American Irish and basically newly arrived Irish. So what we're trying to do with the Irish Network Buffalo and the GAA Club is basically try and bridge that gap, reintroduce American Irish people to their Irish culture, to a modern-day Ireland, and also try to re-educate Irish people about their huge Irish history that lies here in Buffalo.
Are there many Mayo people living in Buffalo?
Well, we have a lot of Mayo descent. We have people whose parents were from Newport, Ballycroy. We have people whose grandparents were from Swinford. But right now we actually have 3 Kilshima lads, and all 3 of us were in the same class together, and we ended up here kind of all by different routes. But we have Derek Kenny from Kilshima, we have Brian Maloney from Kilshima, and then myself.
Now, you're doing something quite extraordinary for Mayo Day. You're turning Niagara Falls green and red. Tell us how that came about.
Tommy, that is one of the most fantastic stories all year, especially here for the Irish community. It started out with a simple tweet from a gentleman named Tony Hennigan, and Tony basically is in charge of Mayo Manchester. And Tony just sent out a tweet. I happened to be tagged in it. And I think for some reason Tony thought I was in New York City, and he started talking about the Empire State Building. When I explained that we're about an 8-hour drive from New York City, but still within the state of New York, we started talking about Niagara Falls. So my first port of call, as soon as we started talking about it, is a gentleman named Michael Cairn. Michael is a local New York State Assembly member, and his roots are from Westport. And thankfully, Michael got on board immediately because his goal as Assembly member is to try and reconnect international connections with Buffalo and Western New York. So Michael got on board right away, and he made all the calls. It turned out a little easier than what we had expected. And thankfully, the Niagara Falls Illumination Board said yes, that they would have no problem turning Niagara Falls green and red for Mayo Day.
So logistically, you didn't have much to do other than, as you say, get the people in the right places to make the right calls.
That was basically it, Tommy, yeah. It was just all about who you know. We're fortunate enough to have Michael Cairns behind us here. Anything to do with Ireland or Irish, he's very involved and very active, and basically that's the man that made all the calls.
So this Saturday, Niagara Falls is going to be green and red. Is it for the entire day?
It won't be for the entire day, Tommy. Basically, during the day you won't be able to see. It's a lighting system that they have. So basically, once it goes dark, the lights will come on and it'll be green and red for a number of hours, so that people can come and hopefully enjoy it and get plenty of photographs.
And I'm sure you'll be putting photographs up on your Facebook page and so on.
That's our plan. We're actually going recording a piece during the day, earlier on in the day, for Irish TV from Niagara Falls. But then that night, because of the time difference, we'll have to be emailing photographs the next morning on May 3rd to Ireland, and hopefully we can get plenty of photographs with people wearing their green and red and with Niagara Falls in the background.
So, Buffalo alive and well for Mayo Day, that's for sure. Listen, fair play to you, Pádraig, for getting involved in Mayo Day, and I know that all of the crew over here are very appreciative of doing what you've done to make Niagara Falls green and red for Mayo Day. Thanks for joining us from Buffalo in New York City. Thanks, Pádraig.
Tommy, thank you so much for having me. And just before you go, I'd just like to give a shout out to my mum and dad there in Kilshima, Michael and Kathleen Moore. Michael is actually taking a trip to Buffalo in July, so looking forward to seeing him then. Tommy, thanks again, and happy Mayo Day.
And many happy returns. Thank you very much, Pádraig Walsh in Buffalo.
It's just a year ago today I left old Erin's Isle. My heart was throbbing in the soft light of my Colleen's smile. In all my dreams I seem to hear her sweet voice soft and low. I know she's waiting where we said goodbye in old Mayo. For two Irish eyes are shining, and an Irish heart is pining. When I kissed her and caressed her in the gloaming long ago.
Gearing up for Mayo Day, Saturday week, May 2nd. We've been all over the world. Let's go to the Director of Mayo Education Centre, Paul Butler, because the young people of Mayo are not been forgotten. They're doing a wonderful competition called What Mayo Means to Me. Thanks for joining us this morning, Paul. Good morning.
Good morning, Tommy. How are you?
Good. So tell me about this competition for children.
So earlier this month, we asked students to participate in a competition to celebrate Mayo Day, and students were asked to express what it means to them to live in such a beautiful county as Mayo by submitting a poem or a short story or a piece of art to Mayo Education Centre. And the other thing we did was we recommended to schools that they would join the celebrations on Friday the 1st of May and wear the green and red of Mayo colours in their schools as well.
And is this secondary and primary?
It's mostly primary. We've invited secondary and primary, but the entrants we've got mostly today are mostly primary.
And the closing date for entries?
Is today. And if you'd like to hear a sample, I have a quick one.
Yeah, please do.
Okay, so here we go. What Mayo means to me. McHale Park is the place to go. You'll hear the fans chanting up Mayo. Go to Achill Island to see the view. Maybe take a picture or two. You should go to Turlock Museum to learn about the Great Famine, or visit Ballina, the home of the salmon. Go to Westport, down by the quay. Climb Crowpatrick, a view to see. Knock Shrine is a pilgrim place, known to all of the human race. The windmills on Nafen, a sight to behold. Clare Island stands out, so proud and so bold.
Very good. And that was written by a student?
That was written by a lad by the name of Declan Mortimer, and he's in 5th class in St. Pat's Boys National School in Castlebar.
Sounds like you're going to have a difficult task.
Absolutely, a very difficult task. But as you know, Tommy, the best way to get a message out to parents and adults in the community is to do it through the children. And we have about 200 schools under our remit here. So it's also an opportunity for them to look at curricular areas like history, geography, English, art, and to raise awareness about culture, heritage within the school and also at home.
Brilliant. OK, well, listen, by the way, prizes for the winners.
There is an iPad for the first prize, and Irish TV will visit their school. And there's an iPad mini for second prize, and there's an ICT voucher third prize. So decent prizes on offer, and we'd like to thank Mayo County Council for their partnership in that.
Brilliant. Listen, Paul, good to talk to you. Thanks for joining us. Paul Butler there, who is Director of Mayo Education Centre. I wanted to home in on Mayo Live for a second, Martina. This is a big concert which is happening in the Royal Theatre Saturday night week. We'll talk about tickets for all of that in a moment. I know that Evie Nisulawan is the compere. I spoke to her earlier this morning and asked her if she was looking forward to the event.
I very much am. I was meeting with my friends from Castlebar last night. We were all discussing Mayo Day and how much fun it's going to be, and really that it's nice to celebrate our county.
Of course, this is going to be broadcast on Irish TV. Tell us what we can expect.
Well, it's going to be a 2-hour live programme. We'll have a lot of distinguished guests there and music and panel discussions. So Taoiseach Enda Kenny will be addressing the audience. We'll have music from people like Matt Malloy. We'll have younger musicians there as well. And we'll have panel discussions about, business that's coming to Mayo, the tourism that's coming to Mayo. And really the whole show is about, I suppose, a celebration of the county to kind of look back on everything that's gone on and all of the successes that are hopefully to come to Mayo in the future as well. So I hope it's going to be an enjoyable night. It's going to be live and people can go to the event themselves in the TF on the Saturday week, and they can hopefully enjoy the live programme or sit at home in the comfort of their couches and watch it there as well.
There you are. That's Evie O'Sullivan, who is going to be the Evie Nisulawan, that would be politically correct, who is going to compare the Mayo Live TV programmes going out live on air. You'll be able to watch it on Sky Channel 191. It's also on Freesat and all of the other channels for Irish TV. And Martina, I suppose in many ways this is going to be one of the showcase events locally for Mayo Day.
Absolutely, Tommy. This flagship event, which Irish TV are producing and broadcasting live on TV, is a showcase of our county through a combination of conversation, music, song and dance. And Evie gave a very nice summary there of what's going on. So absolutely, we have a panel of people speak on business, a little on tourism. We have some great guests. We have Matt Malloy and friends. For the younger audience, we have Hometown. We have Mundy and the Clube Pipe Band. We have Lisa Canny. So a really great lineup of music, song and dance. I suppose my call out to listeners is the event is on in the Royal Theatre in Castlebar, 8 till 10 on Saturday, May 2nd. The tickets are €20, but all proceeds from every ticket sold will go to Mayo charities, a mix of Mayo charities. So it's a completely a charity event. So I would encourage people to come out. It will be a fantastic show. We've a great lineup of people, and Irish TV are doing a great job in putting a great show together. So
and it's not all about just the music and the talent culturally. I think there are going to be some panel discussions about the diaspora working together to try and generate more employment, more jobs, investment into Mayo as well.
Absolutely, yeah. We have a very structured lineup in that there is a business panel and there is a tourism panel. And to that end, we'll have contributors on both those panels, which will be able to give a flavour of why Mayo is a fantastic location to invest or to do business, and indeed why it's a great place to visit.
And ultimately, isn't that what Mayo Day is? I mean, of course it's to celebrate our Mayo-ness, but it's also to say to people, this is a great place to come, to live, to enjoy and to invest in.
Absolutely, and I suppose it brings me back to the very start of our conversation, which is what I suppose the department I'm involved in is all about, the Enterprise and Investment Unit. It's about visiting, connecting and investing. That is the Mayo message that we're pushing out there in terms of our county. Visit this great county, keep connected if you're from this county, and certainly look to invest in this county if you're looking at a location of choice. Mayo is a good choice.
And for people who are calling in, lots are saying, where can you get tickets? Tickets are available from the Royal Theatre box office or online from the Royal Theatre, and I'm sure tickets will be available on the night.
Tickets available on the night. I would encourage people to book in advance. Tickets also available on Ticketmaster, Royal Theatre, so absolutely if people can go ahead and book, it will be an enjoyable night.
Okay, and just before I go, I wanted to talk about food, because Mayo is synonymous for its food, and it would be remiss of us not to give it a quick mention.
Absolutely, and I suppose in general businesses of Mayo have really embraced the whole Mayo Day concept, with discounts and sales and all sorts of things going on for Mayo Day. But some of the very interesting things that's coming out is the way our food producers and some of our restaurants around the county, and just to give you a very quick flavour, the internationally renowned Castlebar based chocolatier Dirk Skunkren of Helena Chocolates has created the Clube chocolate, which I have no doubt will be beautiful, as are all of the chocolates in Helena Chocolates. Bar One has created a Mayo Day special dish, which will be on their menu all over Mayo Day, consisting of Andarl Farm pork belly with Achill sea salt crackling and local sweet carrot puree and butter kale. It's making me hungry just talking about it. An important one also to mention is our local national champion Owen Hughes, who is the national cocktail champion. You might be familiar with him, Tommy, from Knockranny House Hotel. Well, he has created the Green and Red. It's a cocktail specifically created for Mayo Day. So I think all of these interesting stories, our great food producer Sean Kelly and a number of other companies out there are out there creating these dishes. And again, it's very much what this Mayo Day is all about, sharing our Mayo-ness, showing our Mayo-ness, and for businesses to get involved as much as the communities and the festivals and all of that kind of thing.
Well, as they say about anything you do in life, you get out of it what you put into it, and certainly you've put a lot of work into it, and hopefully it will all come to fruition on Saturday week, May 2nd, Mayo Day. And of course the Mayo Pink Ribbon Cycle is on that day. That's going to add an extra little flavour to proceedings in Mayo that day, which is great.
Absolutely, and I suppose I'd love to mention that Castlebar that particular weekend is a hugely sporting weekend, and we're delighted to have been working with Lorda McHugh and her great team on the Pink Ribbon Cycle, and delighted that it falls under the umbrella of Mayo Day. And also on the Sunday is of course the mini marathon, and again Mayo Day is very closely involved with that, so a great sporting weekend already planned on Mayo Day.
Okay, so check it all out, mayo.ie, or if you want to send information to Martina about what you've decided to organise for Mayo Day on Saturday week, it's info@mayo.ie. Martina, thank you for coming in, and best of luck.
Thank you so much, Tommy, for your as always, for your assistance.
Delighted to do it. And from all of us here, we say Mayo Day, May 2nd, celebrate. Have a great weekend. From me, Tommy Barron, and all of us here, thanks to Sean Jacinta and all our contributors today. Take care.
Oh, the green and red of Mayo, I can see it still. It's soft and craggy boglands, it's tall majestic hills, where the ocean kisses Ireland and the waves caress its shore. Oh,